Hello there, this is Retro Spirits Gaiden, and this is Wipeout, Sega's wonderful Saturn console from the 1990s. Oh, it's so long ago. Here's the dashboard where we're steering a metal frog through space with cubes in his eye hole sockets. Doesn't get more futuristic than that. The Sega logo in Sega Blue. Black screen. I'm just saying what I see here. We have the Wipeout logo. The Saturn version developed by Tantalus. Executive production by Perfect Entertainment. And that's a rather bold boast. We have an owl falling into a brown orifice of some description. It's the Psygnosis logo. That's very exciting. We have a crazy ball. Look at him. He's mad. He's all over the place. And now he's morphing into a cube. Oh my god, he's walking towards me. That's Softbank. They don't know what they are. This is Tantalus's logo. Slightly boring in comparison. We have I Love My Doctor. I do love my doctor. I haven't seen my doctor for years. But I love you, Doctor. Something to do with Designers Republic. And here we have an FMV intro of Wordy from the 1970s/80s children's TV. God, I'm old. Or the robots from Black Hole, Disney's Black Hole. They're doing something here with floating craft of some description. I never know how to describe these things. Are they spaceships? Are they hovercraft? Are they hoverships? Are they space cars? Who can tell? But what's happening here is the guy from Wordy, who's called Wordy, is making them race against each other. Some sort of futuristic environment. Exciting. FMV intros really do set the scene for me. I'm very excited by them. We have the word Wipeout breaking through a steel wall. That's how hard the logo is. The logo is super strong. Right, we have a spinning CD icon. Again, I'm just saying what I see here for the benefit of you, the viewer. And the title screen, where the front of the hovercraft is cut off at the bottom of the frame, creating a weird kind of arrangement, kind of composition. Got some data here that we can load, so let's load that. I played this game up until Rapier class so far, but everybody's played Wipeout to death surely back in the day. I had this on the PlayStation when it originally came out, on the old PS1. And the Sega Saturn version is, I suppose, a competent port of that game to a high degree. This image here, the graphic design is all over the place, so I hope Designers Republic wasn't responsible for that, because it's ugly. It's a floaty game. It's a floaty racing game where you try not to collide with the sides of the track, because that means slowing you down. You launch weapons at the enemy cars in this. For what reason I don't really know, other than slowing them down, I suppose. The game always seems to start you in cockpit mode, which is irritating. This is the only racing game... Well, actually no, I only play future racing games from outside the ship. And I play sort of standard racing games from inside the ship. Inside the car, because most racing games, standard ones, don't have ships in them. They have cars in them. My brain needs some work. But you can see here, we have 3D graphics of some description that are drawing onto the screen in chunks. I mean, the PlayStation did that as well. The PlayStation version had pop-in. You go over the glowing parts of the track to either obtain speed-ups or weapons. All the weapons are ineffectual. The only good weapon really is the shield, this one, and it's uglier on the Saturn because it uses the mesh effect, but it's not a deal breaker. I mean, back in the day people were up in arms about mesh effects, but whatever. We've got some weird trackside slogans going on there. There's something like a pile of slime. I don't remember that being a major part of the PlayStation game. The main irritations with this game, and it is a good game, and they improved on it in the sequels. And the main irritations are colliding on the track side, slowing you down too much. I think that's possibly been tweaked in here because it doesn't slow you down as much as far as I remember. I keep accidentally pressing the A button, which puts me inside the cockpit of the vehicle. Irritating. The other thing is, when you use the weapons on the bad guys, on the bad guy cars, the AI for them immediately puts them in your path. So you hit them with a rocket, thinking that you're going to overtake them, but somehow they always manage, there we go, to get right in your way. They will block you, so it's not really worth shooting them, to be fair, because it's, there we go, he's blocked me again after I shot him. Irritating, absolutely irritating. Rubbish AI. Other than that, pretty cool. There's no multiplayer in this version as far as I can tell, and I've played it a bit. I think on the PlayStation one you could link PlayStations together from memory if you had the requisite cable, but the PlayStation one didn't do split screen or anything as far as I remember. And I really need to play games more in depth before I start talking about their features, don't I? Never mind. The music's cool. We've got cool music from the 90s, kind of 90s beats, if you like that sort of thing. It's, yes, kind of groovy. We have a mirrored background now, that's very thrifty. Rather than doing a massive bitmap, let's just mirror a smaller section of a bitmap. Oh, saving some memory. Lovely stuff. Well done there. Oh yes, large bitmaps take up too much memory footprint in the Sega Saturn's video RAM. Therefore, mirroring a small section of background could save 3/4 of the memory of a normal background, depending on texture size. Thank you, Technical Guy, but please only open your mouth if you can put a coherent sentence together, because it's rather painful to listen to. Well, I didn't think I needed that today. You know, my dog's just died. Oh, just shut up. Go away. Here we have a interstitial kind of portrait of a character. I don't know which of the best team it is in WIPEOUT, the original version. I tend to pick FISA, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. The ships, I guess, handle differently, don't know. But the controls are pretty simple. You press go to go. You got a go button. As you've seen, you've got a button which puts you in and out of the cockpit, which is, I suppose, useful. You've got, it says with questioning tone and shaking his head, although you can't see me shaking my head. I was shaking my head. You've got the shoulder buttons. So the shoulder buttons are absolutely essential to use on the twistier tracks. You use the shoulder buttons to sort of air brake, which gives you a tighter turn left-right depending on which shoulder button you use. I just saw Tantalus' logo there on the front of that stadium. They sneakily got their logo in. Yeah, so that takes some getting used to, but it's kind of cool when you swing your craft around a kind of a right hand or a left hand 90-degree turn using the air brake. Feels satisfying to do. I just used a boost there to boost myself into a cliff face, which then started clipping out resistance, which is slightly ugly. Yes, the clipping plane for the polygon graphics is set too close to the rear of the WIPEOUT hovercraft, therefore you see polygons disappearing off the side of the screen. This is to save frame rate. Thank you, Technical Guy. I think people can see that for themselves. You know, my dog just... I don't care about your dog. You've got pop-up in the distance. Yes, there's pop-up in the distance to save frame rate. Shut up, Technical Guy. And you've got weapons which have, again, the net effect on them. Good game. It cost me 19 English pounds for the Japanese version, which runs at this frame rate. This is running on original hardware. So whatever this frame rate is, and I've got a feeling it's around 25 frames a second, is equal to the PlayStation PAL version, because that ran at around 25 frames a second, so it's as smooth as that one. I don't know what the PAL version of this game ran at, I never owned the PAL version of Wipeout. And you can get Wipeout 2097 also on the Saturn, and I haven't played that one either. But this is a fairly decent version. Well, it's the Saturn doing an impression of a PlayStation, and it does okay. I don't know any of the gubbins on the inside, whether this is using multiple processors or just the one processor, but it's doing a pretty good copy of a PlayStation. Some of the lighting effects, not as good. As you can see, there's some weird colours going on in the mountains and in the tunnels. There's like some vertex colour weirdness. Not as smooth as a PlayStation, and generally a little bit more janky, but acceptable, I would say. So there you go. For your 19 quid, you get a disc with some graphics printed on it. When I say graphics, I mean like logos and shizzle. You get a manual, which is sort of a silvery colour, which is actually quite nice. It's quite nice in the box, and that's about all you get. So it's quite cheap. The 2097 on the Saturn, if you were to buy the import one, is sort of over £100. It is potentially the better game. Having not played it, I couldn't tell you whether it actually is, but this is decent. So let's discuss the Dreamcast shaped elephant in the room. You can get Wipeout, and I have this video on my channel, this original version of Wipeout, ported from the PlayStation to the Dreamcast by some enterprising young coding wizards, and you can download this off the internet, this Dreamcast version, and it runs at 120 frames a second. It fixes a load of problems that you might have with like pop-in to some degree, and it's probably the best way to play the original Wipeout. And that's free, but you have to burn a disc to put in your Dreamcast. I suppose you could put it in RetroArch if you emulate games, but just be aware that that is out there. So if you're too mean to spend £20 on a Saturn game or the PlayStation original, and you fancy a higher res, higher frame rate version of the original Wipeout, go and get it on the Dreamcast for freezies off the interwebs, and you'll find things that can help you burn discs for your Dreamcast, because you can't just play normal CDs on there. And yeah, it's fairly easy to do because I've done it, and I'm a bit of a Luddite, not very technical, and when it comes to those sorts of things, I managed to burn a disc. So if I can do it, your mum can do it. So go ahead and do that. Right, that's me. I'm off now. Ta-ra!